we're going to be talking about the light and the need for God's light to shine upon us and the need for us to be that light of God in the world. So I put together just a few scriptures on the topic of light, and I'll begin at the beginning of everything with Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters, and God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw the light that it was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was evening, there was morning, one day. Now on that theme, I want to take you to the book of Psalms. Now remember, with the Psalms, if you've got any darkness, any trouble, anything bothering you, always turn to the book of Psalms, for the book of Psalms is a book of comfort. And so today I'm going to read you just a few verses from Psalm number 139. Psalm 139, and I'm going to read you verses 7 through 12. Psalm number 139. Where shall I go from your spirit? Where shall I flee from your presence, O God? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, down under the earth, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the furthest corner of the ocean, even there your hand will lead me. Your right hand will hold me. If I say, let only darkness cover me and let the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light for you. And now I want to read to you a short reading from Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 60. And Isaiah spoke these words to the people of Israel in their darkest hour. Isaiah 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Behold, darkness will cover the earth, and thick darkness will cover the people. But the Lord will arise upon you, and his glory will be seen upon you. Nations shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising. Now, two short readings from the Gospels. First one is from Matthew, and this will be Matthew chapter 5, the Sermon on the Mount, from Matthew 5, verses 14 to 16. Matthew 5, 14. These are the words of Jesus, and these words are for us, talking about us. Jesus says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket. They put the light on the stand, and it gives light to everybody in the house. Let your light shine before people, that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. So that's where Jesus says, you are the light of the world. Turn now with me to John chapter 8. And from John chapter 8, we're going to look at verse 12. John 8, verse 12. Again, Jesus spoke to them and said, I am the light of the world. He who follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
So we're going to talk about light today. I'm going to get this little table down here 1 second. I would have got here earlier, except I had to get up an hour early today. Goodness gracious. I remember so well when I was a kid, the only thing I thought about daylight savings time was, hey, we got an extra hour to play. And you could stay out an hour longer before your mom called you in to dinner and enjoy playing. And now here we are. So I want to talk to you about light today. And I'm going to ask you to start with, I want to ask how many of you can remember this wonderful old thing. You know, this thing was invented in 1914. And I can remember going camping. And I can remember my dad. We had one of these, you know, you have put the white gas in there and you pump it up, right? Get some pressure in it and let the fuel out. And these two little white things, bright, shine. And so you can be out in the middle of the woods on a cloudy night with no moon, and this thing will light up your campsite. You know, times change a little bit. They change. Things move right along. Later, I grew up, came into the 90s, and I got one of these right here. Got one of these. Fluorescent, battery powered. Isn't that thing just the newest thing in the world? Boy, look at that. That will light up your campsite, and it'll light it up good. Well, I went down to Ace yesterday, and I talked to Mears about light bulbs and lights. And you know, it is a challenge for them because every 6 weeks, he said, about every 6 weeks, they discontinue one kind of light bulb, and they bring us another one, a different kind. Well, I decided to pick up the best camp lantern they have. So I got this thing. Now this thing, you can charge it like you charge your cell phone. And once it's got a tiny little battery in it. And once you charge your cell phone, you can charge your cell phone with this. It holds that much power. It's just, there it is right there. Let's see what it does. Man, that thing is bright. And there it is, even brighter. That thing will light up. And it hardly weighs a thing. Light. Now, Jesus says, you are the light of the world. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to keep the darkness out of our minds, our hearts, and our spirits. And so, save my batteries. In the beginning, God separated the darkness from the light. Darkness and light. Do you know they are both very important in our world and in our lives? Because darkness and light bring us something called contrast. How important is that? You know, we wouldn't be able to see a thing were it not for contrast. Because light and shadow, darkness and light, together they form the vision of all that is that we can see and know. And so God saw that the light was good, separated the darkness from the light. There was morning, there was evening, one day. And yet, you know, we struggle. We all struggle. We struggle to keep that light shining in us and through us. We struggle to see the eternal light of the glory of God because the darkness comes to have power in our lives. And that's where I just love these words from Psalm 139. Because the struggle at times to keep the light shining in us. Where shall I go from the Spirit of God? Where shall I flee from your presence, O Lord? If I go up to heaven, God is there, right? God is there. But if I go down there, God is there. Even there. If I take the wings of the morning and go to the furthest corner of the ocean, God is there. There your hand shall lead me, your right hand shall hold me. So there we are. We have the blessings of God. But then what do we say? And I want you to think about the hard times. I want you to think about the tough times, about the discouragement that will come on you. Let only darkness cover me, let the light about me be night. Because see, up here in our minds, in our hearts, we turn off that light. We just, It comes about whenever we let the trouble have power in our lives. Whatever is wrong, that's wrong. And I hate that. And it bothers me. And how big does the bother become? And how powerful does the bother become? How powerful does the negative become? What I don't like and what gets me. And it becomes strong and it becomes bigger and it becomes more powerful. And the darker it gets, the darker it gets. And before we know it, we're right down there in the dark. Even the darkness is not dark to God. The night is as bright as the day. Darkness is as light with thee. Because the darkness and the light, in the grace of God, they all go together. Just like that contrast I was telling you about. You got to have the bad times. because that brings the blessing of the good times. Whatever it is, let the light of God shine upon it. And that takes us to Isaiah 60. As I said, spoken in the darkest hour in the history of Israel, the prophet says, "Arise, shine, your light has come. The glory of the Lord has risen upon you." Take those words personally. In your moment of darkness, in your moment of a bad attitude, in your moment when the trouble and the pain and the hardship get so much that you're just sick of it and tired of it and can't stand it anymore, take these words. Isaiah says, darkness will cover the earth. It'll happen. Trust me, it will happen. You know that. You've been there. You've done that. It'll happen. Darkness will cover the earth. Thick darkness will cover the people. But the Lord will arise upon you, and his glory, and the word glory and the word light are related. His glory will shine upon you, and nations shall come to your light, kings to the brightness of your rising. So we'll be down there. We'll be in the dark. You know how darkness is. You don't know which way to go. You don't know what to do. You're feeling your way. What's going on? The darkness will happen, but the light of God will shine upon us. And so Jesus says, and this is in Matthew chapter 5, as I read, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hid, and people don't light a lamp and put it in a basket. You got that light. It's your faith. It's what you believe. It's your most deeply held beliefs about the nature of this world and about yourself. That light is in you. All you got to do is raise yourself up from the doldrums, from the depth of the difficulty that you're in. Just get on up and let the light shine. You let it shine, you bring the blessing. Because you're going to run into people who are down there in the darkness. And when they're in that darkness, you just reach out to them with the light of love, and you bring them the encouragement, the strength, and the blessing. The light shines. It shines upon them through you. There's the light shining. And this is, it's an interesting thing, because the light is the only thing where the I am statement made by Jesus is brought directly to us. He says, I am the light of the world. Whoever believes in me will not walk in darkness. I am the light of the world. And the challenge is for you to just take that and say, yeah. Because he says, I am the light of the world. He says, you are the light of the world. So we just have to be that light. Whatever the darkness is that may come upon anyone, whether it's illness or injury, whether it's discouragement or difficulty, conflict or trouble, whatever it is, let light shine. Amen. And now